Today we're going to be repotting the papaya plants. Hello guys and welcome back to the Cozy Jungle. So the focus of this video is we're going to be repotting a couple of the papaya plants that we've got just behind us. Now they've been sitting there for a little while. They're in their mini greenhouse which I created out of a shoebox that's just transparent. I've used it for a couple of other plants in a rehabilitation phase and it's worked successfully well. So we know that they're growing and they've gotten to a point now where they're probably outgrowing the pots that they're in. And this is the last opportunity we're really going to get indoors for us to repot the plants. So we're going to do a couple. I might potentially turn one into a bonsai tree, but I'll explain a little bit more as to why I'm thinking of doing that. So come and watch me repot the plants and I'll talk you through the reasons as to why I'm doing things and why I'm using certain types of soils. Okay, so this is partly an experiment, but I also want to see whether or not these are going to continue to grow. So first of all, let me show you the papayas. So these are the papayas. Now they've been growing a little while by the window. Now I'll bring it a bit closer so you can see how they're getting on. And the leaves have really grown through. They are becoming a little bit more mature now. You can see the trunks are doing particularly well. I'll open this up so you can have a proper look, but you can see that some of the older leaves are dying. And they're definitely ready to be in bigger pots. Hence the reason why I'm going to be taking a couple of these big ones out and be in a position where I can get them to grow the way that I want them to. So we're going to take two. I'm going to pick the ones out of the back because I think they're going to be the best option. So for now, all I'm going to do with these, I'm going to put them back at the window whilst I go and get some new pots so I can then also put them into bigger ones as well over the next few days. Now, as you can see with these, they are doing extremely well. They have completely grown into a really good size. So the hope is that if I put them into a new pot, they should be ready to sprout through and get some really good healthy growth. The leaves are much bigger and the trunks are very good. They're doing really well. So one of these is going to go into a standard pot and I'm going to try and grow that into a normal papaya tree. The other one, however, which I think is probably going to be this one here, I'm going to try and turn into a bonsai tree. So the reason why I suggested both is because the mix that's necessary, you can get some normal fertilizer that's going to do well in some normal soil and mix it together and it'll be absolutely fine for the papaya trees. But something that I looked into a little bit more is that you can actually use some bonsai potting mix as the perfect growth for your papaya plants. It's got the perfect amount of soil in there. The only thing really is just to fertilize it a little bit more, but it's got the perfect pH in there, so it's more likely to grow the way that we want it to. Hence the reason why the idea came in that I could have a bonsai tree. Now I'm already trying to grow some bonsai trees anyway because the last one I did completely failed. So now is the opportunity for me to actually do it with one of these. Now I think this one here being slightly more curved is the perfect opportunity for me to do it. So first of all we're going to repot this one and then we're going to put the bonsai tree together. So all we're going to do for this is just give it a good old clear out, absolutely fine. We originally had this toothpick to keep it together, but we haven't needed to do that for a good while. So we've got the potting mix, some clay granules that I'm going to be mixing in with this one here, not necessarily the bonsai potting mix, because it's going to be a little bit better in terms of drainage and retaining a bit of water. There is a higher risk with papaya plants of having root rot, especially during the winter, so I want to make sure that I can drain this completely through without the risk of getting root bound and root rot. So the size is significantly larger, which is the only one that I really had that would be the perfect fit for this. It's got loads and loads of holes at the bottom, which means that we're more likely to see some proper drainage coming through. So all I'm going to do really is use the soil that I've already got in here and I'm going to pour some of my potting mix in and we are good to go. So it's going to be really straightforward, it's not going to take too long to do. And we can see that it's the perfect time for us to be able to do this. I don't know if I can get this a little bit closer without spilling soil everywhere, but we have a good amount of soil. We have a good root system, it's held on really well, and you can see that it's completely clear and healthy. There's no signs of root rot. So all we're going to do now is just pop that straight into here, and then we're going to add some more of the soil, and then we're good to go. Okay, that is it for this one. It's really straightforward. You can see that they are great healthy leaves. It's got a good trunk, which is perfect, and we've got more than enough soil in there, so now it's going to hopefully grow the way that I want it to. Now the simple solution for something like this is that I'm going to keep it close to the window, but not too close that it's going to burn all the leaves. And we're going to make sure the humidity is high. Now the reason we want the humidity high is because it works really well in a tropical environment, which is where these are pretty much originated from. Now, because we're going into the winter, in one of the videos that I posted before, there's the risk that it's going to dry out, especially with the fact that we're going to be putting our heating on. So the best way to combat that, which I'm waiting for a delivery for today, is a humidifier, which is going to regulate the temperature as well as the humidity in this room. So it's a good old smart one, which I'll show you in another video at some point. But it's going to be perfect for all of the plants that I've got surrounding me, especially my birds of paradise, which has been doing extremely well over the last few months. So I want to make sure that everything is the way that I want it to. So this is going to do absolutely fine, closer towards the window. So I'm going to pop it up here somewhere, and then we are good to go. So now we move on to the bonsai one. Now this bonsai one, all I'm going to do for this is, it looks like there's one of the leaves that's starting to dry out and break off. So I'm going to knock this one off here. We're going to take it out. Perfect. There are some other leaves that are actually starting to grow through, but we're going to leave it to do its thing for a little while. We don't want to add too much extreme towards it because it's just going to die otherwise. But we got some new leaves that you can kind of see into the middle, which is absolutely fine as well. Good trunk as well, which is good, but there's a little bit of pliability up at the top here, which means that we're more likely to see a little bit more shapeage to what we want. So let's pop this toothpick out, and then we're going to use this bonsai pot for the perfect opportunity to turn this into a bonsai tree. Now, when it comes to a bonsai tree, it doesn't necessarily matter how you do things. You can do it so that it's just bolt upright, and then you slowly shape the top up in the way that you want it to. Bonsai trees are your own design, so there's no pressure into how you do things. I'm going to do mine in a slightly different fashion. In terms of the going straight up, I'm actually going to do it at a slight angle, which might look really cool. It might not, but we're going to test it out. And again, we're in the perfect environment for this to grow really well, especially with the humidifier that is on order. So this is going to be a nice straightforward potting. I'm going to remove the soil that I've already got in here and use just the bonsai. Okay, so the crazy part is that even though there's a lot of growth happening up at the top, the root system itself is actually quite small. It's not particularly big, which is why they suggest that if you're going to put it into a plant pot, you don't actually put it into a big one, because it's more likely to gain some root rot, because it's just a small amount of roots. So all we're going to do now is just get this into the right position for where I want it to. Now I'm going to do this at a slight angle. I'm actually going to shape it so that it's going to be sitting more towards this kind of angle, and I'm going to see if I can get it to prop up and start to rotate round. Now the best way that I'm going to do that is with some wires. Now with this bonsai wire, which I've got from my partner's brother, we're actually going to use this as the perfect shaping tool to get it in the direction that I want it to. Okay, here we have it, a slightly wonky bonsai tree. So, well, a wonky bonsai. So, here it is. So I've done it in a crooked way, which is perfect because I'm now going to wire it in the position that I wanted to. It's at a perfect position now where I can shape it into many different ways as I want to. So I'm really happy with how it looks actually. All I need to do now is get the wiring, cut it into the shapes that I want. We're going to circle its way around, and then we are all done and dusted. Okay, so it's a nice simple wiring. As you can see here, all I've done is just shape it to be a little bit more pointed upright. I'm going to continue to train it to go a little bit further around towards the left hand side, or my left, so it should turn out really well. But for now, all I'm going to do is stick this by the window and then hope that it gets the right conditions for it to thrive. Perfect. Okay, so the final positions is that they're going to be sitting, like I said, by the window, but not too close that we're going to cause any issues. And we've got the bonsai papaya sitting here. Now these will be sat by the window, which is absolutely fine. I'm going to give them a spray in a second just to keep the humidity high. And like I said, because we're going to have the heating on during the winter, obviously we've got the radiator just here, it's going to dry out. So what we need to do is make sure that we have the humidity, which I'm saying that the humidifier, sorry, is going to be coming in fairly soon, and that's going to take care of any issues that we have. And at the moment, everything is doing extremely well. If you just have a quick look here, this is the newest Monstera leaf that's come through. It's absolutely massive. And when I say massive, if I show you quickly what it looks like compared to my hand, considering I've got quite a big hand as well, is massive. So there we have it. We've got some good positions for both the papaya plants. Okay, and there we have it. We have repotted our papaya plants. There's only the two, we've still got 3 more to go, but we've managed to repot one in a slightly bigger pot and one in a bonsai, so we can turn one of the papayas into a bonsai plant. Now I'm very excited to see how they progress. I'm going to do the best that I can to make sure they survive out of their mini greenhouse that they've been in. And the hopes is that during the winter they're going to survive long enough that they'll start to sprout during the spring. It's a long process, but I know it's going to be worthwhile. So hopefully all of that has been very useful to you, and you can potentially try and do this yourself. Now all of this started with a papaya from just eating a papaya and taking the seeds whilst I was away on holiday. So it can be done very, very easily, and it doesn't take that long to do. So the next time you go and buy yourself a papaya, take the seeds and see whether or not you can grow some yourself. It's very, very easy from the experience that I've had. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. And let's get the cozy jungle into as many houses as we can.